Hey, what's going on, guys? So we have a different kind of video coming out from what we normally do. As you guys know, we are the Slope podcast where we mainly cover Sakamichi series news, but there have been some pretty serious news going on in the 48 world, and this affects not just the other group, but it's kind of like a big thing on kind of industry in general. And so we're going to put out this as its own video, kind of giving it some of the attention it deserves, and also just keeping the main podcast separate. So, Mr. Box, did you want to kind of sum up what's been going on?
Yeah, so basically this has to center
throw you the baton.
This has to center around a member in NGT48's, part of the AKB48's group. And it seems like one of the members had a situation that happened to them where apparently she got attacked, and the person who was behind it was another member. She did a showroom, and on this showroom she was saying like, I'm worried for myself, like I don't know what's going to happen. And she was very worried, and then she was trying to explain the situation, but then her showroom got stopped. It got cut. So she couldn't stream anymore. So what she did is she went on Twitter, and then she privatized her Twitter. So then she went and then she explained the whole situation, which basically summed up is she got attacked by a fan, quotation marks fan, because like all these situations, we use the word fan, even though most of the time it's not truly fans. And she got attacked by her walking to her actual room where she is. And then the guys came out of another room and then basically grabbed her by the face and dropped her on the floor. And then another guy came, and then the guys heard the elevator and they got scared. And that was when she took the opportunity to run away. And that's a pretty scary situation, not only for her, but for anyone. And apparently she went to the police and she went with management, and she found out who the member was that leaked her information, her phone number, her address, her parents' address, her parents' phone number, all that. And apparently this was the cause of it. And even the member like called her to make sure she's okay. So it seems like the situation is kind of weird right now because we don't know who the member was. It seems like management is trying to cover this up and the police have dismissed this. So right now we're kind of like, we don't know what's going to happen because Mahon went out of her way to say something about the situation, and she doesn't want others to go through this situation. So that's why she said this in public.
Yeah, it's NGT48's Yamaguchi Maho. If you didn't know, media outlets haven't really picked up on this. NHK just barely made a tweet about it, or they posted an article as of this recording. So it might get more traction a little bit later on, or maybe by now it's being reported on. But yeah,
I actually remember seeing like the article like months back about like an idol in NGT was like attacked by a fan or something like that. Yeah, like by a male or something like that. Or an idol in Niigata. Right.
Yeah,
I just kept all like no names and no group names or anything like that. And I did kind of like, I wonder, but like, you know, everything was kind of swept on the rug, so I didn't really think about it much then. But obviously now more information is coming out. It's very unfortunate how the information has to be coming out, right? But
so to clarify,
like,
this incident happened
months ago,
about a month ago,
one month ago, huh?
Yeah.
Like early December or something like that. And so, yeah, we didn't hear anything of it until, you know, Mahohon herself came out and said stuff.
I don't know, man. This thing just really, for lack of a better word, it just really sucks, man. Like, I feel so like frustrated for Mahohon, right? I'm like very frustrated with how the situation was dealt with. It's not pretty, man. It does not paint a good picture at all, right? Not even of NGT's management, but like I think the idol scene in general, right? For especially if you're not really an idol fan and you're hearing about this shit, right? I have like conflicted feelings, man. Like majority of me, and I still wish it like that. I hope the media really picks up on this because I feel like that's the only way things will really get done about it when the management is kind of backed up against a corner and they have no choice but to do something about it. But man, I really know that like the way this is going to shape like people's perception of the group is like not gonna be good, right?
Which is kind of why they're covering it up in the first place.
Yeah, it sucks, right? Because, you know, as fans, I think we always have some kind of thought of like sketchy stuff happening behind the scenes. But like, you know, you want to think like it doesn't, right? But this kind of just, you know, it just says like, yeah, stuff happens, right? This is why she came out and said all this stuff, because apparently it's not just her that went through these kinds of things, right? Like in her tweets, she'd mentioned like stuff about other girls that has kind of gone through, you know, like stressful things or whatever.
She's like really adamant in her tweets that this isn't about bringing down the ship. This isn't about like burning it all down. Like she loves NGT. She loves the girls in NGT. That there's a lot of hardworking girls just trying to do their best, and it's not. This incident isn't indicative of the greater whole. And you know, I'm gonna like trust her on that, right? Like I think part of me, my personal tendency is to want like to really kind of be very pessimistic about this and just be like, man, like, yeah, what else are they hiding, right? Like, what else have they been covering up? And like, I think that there's nothing wrong with being skeptical and like being aware of that, but I'm just gonna take her at her word. So she's coming about this, you know, like this is kind of its own issue.
I can't help but feeling like she's taking a huge L just cause, you know, like,
yeah.
I mean, like, we'll never know the truth, which sucks, right? Like, there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes, obviously, but it's like, you know, all this time has passed and nothing was done for her. It seems like, you know, the showroom stream getting like cut off and like her tweets. It just feels like they're just gonna like throw her under the bus and that's it, right? It's gonna continue normally as it always did, unless, you know, hopefully more news outlets pick it up and like forces them to do something. Right? I think the worst thing about it is like the management just kind of not taking her side.
Yeah.
I think, you know, a lot of people on Twitter have been talking about that, right? Like that's like the worst part, you know, like more so than the other member who ordered the hit on her or whatever. You know, like what the fuck? Why isn't like the staff or their management or like the group itself like trying to protect her, right? Like it's supposed to be the place where she feels the most safe.
I think that's the thing is like people want to make it about like, oh, you know, Japan just wants, you know, it just cares about, you know, we're just cogs in the machine, right? Like as long as the machines run smoothly, that's all that matters. But and like here's the thing, if I didn't even need them to like put the girl who did this on blast and do all this and like, oh, you know, like make her graduate, man, and then just don't tell me what happens. I'm okay with that, you know, like, man, like if you really cared about saving face or whatever, but this is just stupid. Like I don't know, I have like no defense for it. It's like not only did you just sweep it under the rug, but you just like you're not being proactive about it at all, and it's like gotten so bad that it's gotten to the point where she feels the only way for anything to happen is if she like takes to Twitter in this manner, right?
I think what also sucks is like a lot of fans almost immediately point their fingers at Nakai Rika. Because like a lot of things kind of aligned about stuff that happened in the past with Nakai Rika, right? There's like some rumor that she was going out with somebody or whatever.
Going out with a fan or whatever, right? And then
and like
this is kind of okay.
Yeah, they were analyzing her tweets and stuff like that. It's like that was kind of stupid too. I mean, like, because fans don't know anything, right? So like, why would you? They just want to point a finger at somebody to sound like cool on Twitter, right? It's like, oh yeah, I was right, or whatever.
Be a detective, right?
Yeah.
It's like, man, just shut up, dude. Just
it's there's no justice there if you're just pointing fingers based on assumptions, right? Like obviously I want justice to be carried out. I want like whoever is responsible to get like get some kind of like you know, consequence to this. But like you know, how stupid would you be if like after all this it's not her, right? Like us trying to like guess on Twitter who it is isn't gonna do anything. it's not going to solve anything. It's just people trying to look cool. Like, I'm the one who figured it out. Look at me, like there's, until like something's done, I think we should remember like everyone is innocent until proven guilty, right? And like sometimes even just like throwing out names is just as bad, because you're spreading out like really bad misinformation.
Yeah, because if someone takes that information and then they perceive it wrong, and then it keeps on tumbling down.
Yeah, this could have like real consequences for her. She's never been my cup of tea idol wise, but I don't think it's very fair to believe that she's the one doing this when there's literally no information besides like people guessing on Twitter.
They need to spread positivity, not be pointing fingers.
Yeah, or just know, like, the sooner you know how little you know, the better, right? Like, we talked about it before when like a member gets hurt and people try to play doctor and shit like that, like, well, even if you were right, what can you do? There's nothing we would be able to do about it. So, yeah, just kind of spread positivity,
spread awareness.
Yeah, that's really all we can do. Cause like,
we can't go over there and be like, oh, hey, Mahon, I'll be your bodyguard outside the door.
I mean, like, even fans who are in Japan, right? Her Oshi, like, or whatever. Like, what can they do? They can't do anything, right? Like, there's no information out. No one knows anything. So it's like, you just have to kind of spread the news, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Any of you guys watching this, if you live out in Niigata, stay safe out there, man. I don't know. Don't... Like, I know there's a big part of me that just like, man, if I lived in Japan, dude, I'd fucking find these dudes. Don't do anything stupid. Just be smart. Spread awareness. Help Mahohon out. Be her voice. Obviously, people want to sweep this under the rug, but we live in an age of social media. Use that to your advantage. And yeah, I think that about wraps it up, right, for this.
So yeah, that's the news on Mahohon right now. Again, we don't know a lot about the situation, and we're kind of just waiting for everything. But please let us know what you guys think down in the comments, and don't forget to spread the awareness about it. You can go ahead and tweet at us even if you want some support, or go ahead and support her. Tweet at her. You guys can give her some positive messages, and you can go ahead and let other people know about the situation. And you guys can see if we update this situation on the Slope Club YouTube or even on Twitch. Thank you guys for watching.